Well, many are wondering when the crisis in Greece will end and how. For more about all of this, we're joined by Peter Coy, the economics editor for Bloomberg Business Week. Thank you very much for being on the programme with us. So today the Greek government announced a new set of austerity measures. Will that alone do it, or do you think that some kind of bailout by the international community is now inevitable?
Greece is in a strange catch-22 position. If this set of reforms works, then the Europeans will feel good that Greece is playing along and they'll be willing to give it aid. But of course, if it works, they won't need the aid. On the other hand, if the reforms don't work, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, the Greeks really will need aid. But that's exactly when the Europeans won't feel like giving it, because they'll perceive that Greece is not a team player. So Greece is kind of stuck here.
So what does Greece do?
Well, I think the most likely outcome is that the Europeans will have to provide some kind of a backstop, formal backstop that says, guys, if you can't sell bonds, we will somehow get you the financing you need. But they don't want to do that soon because they want to keep the screws on Greece. There's this elaborate theater going on between the Greeks, who kind of are very stingily giving extra concessions week by week, and the Germans in particular, the rest of the Europeans, who on the other hand are very reluctant to make more concessions than absolutely necessary. So there's a big, you almost would be better off having a theater critic coming in.
Right. Sounds like a bit of a Greek tragedy, but how long can this go on?
Well, we have an important set of events. Mid-March is the first assessment of the progress, and then mid-May is when the Europeans want to see that the Greeks are embarking on long-term structural changes.
Right, and the latest country to come under the microscope is the United Kingdom. Is there something along to a Greek problem, a Greek debt crisis unfolding in the United Kingdom?
I think that would be overstating it. Clearly, there are issues in the UK, very high budget deficits, funded in part by the Bank of England buying up government debt, which is not a good long-term situation. The difference, of course, is that Britain has its own currency, and Greece does not. That means Britain can get out of its problem simply through the depreciation of the pound. Of course, that makes British consumers poorer, makes imports more expensive for them, but it's sort of a natural, organic kind of adjustment, which is why I don't think Britain is going to have, they have problems, yes, but a crisis, a currency crisis, I don't really see that.
And in some ways, the United States is set to benefit from what's going on in Europe. How so?
Well, the U.S. is seeing its dollar rise and its interest rates low because people are taking money out of Europe and putting it into the U.S., seeing it as a safe refuge. That's obviously very good for the U.S. in the short term, but the U.S. has its own problems. Huge trade deficit, huge budget deficit. Americans just have to hope that what's been happening to Europe doesn't start happening here.
Okay, Peter Coy, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.